Okay, a couple of weeks ago I did an InDesign tutorial on bulleted lists, and as promised, I'm following that up with this particular tutorial, which is on numbered lists. So we're going to start out by making sure that the paragraphs that we want to convert to list items are highlighted, which they are. I'm going to come up here to my control menu, make sure that paragraph is selected, and we're going to quickly look at these two buttons here. The top one is for bulleted lists. Notice we have instant bullets, but we're going to press the numbered list button, which is right below, and sure enough we have an instant numbered list. But say we want to customize this list further. Maybe we don't like the periods after the numbers. Maybe we don't like the spacing that follows. In order to do that, we need to go to our bullets and numbering dialog box. And we get there, the quickest way to get there is to hold down your Alt Option key and just press that same button again. And sure enough, we have our bullets and numbering dialog box. Now we're going to start out here with our list type, and numbers is already chosen. We could choose, of course, bullets as we've discussed before, but we're going to keep it at numbers. Going down here to the format drop-down menu. This, of course, if you look at this, you can figure this out pretty quickly. Enables you to customize the format of your number. You can go with Roman numeral numbers, upper and lower case. You can go with upper and lower case letters. I'm going to keep my standard Arabic numerals selected, and next we're going to come to this number field. Now this can be kind of confusing with these funny looking characters. This field is where you control the characters that surround your number. Now these first two characters here, which I'll highlight, the caret and the pound sign, represent the number itself. So if I were to delete those, our number would go away. And the only thing that's left there is the period. Now we are creating a numbered list, so we do want numbers, of course, so I'm going to type those back in. There's our numbers. Now here is the period. Remember I said that this field enables you to control what appears around the numerals. So your numeral characters here are pretty much, I think, always going to stay there, at least somewhere in this field. But this number, or this period here, can go away. If you don't like the period, you simply delete it. And now our periods have gone. Now another common format for numbers is to place parentheses around them. So I'm going to place my cursor before the numeral characters, and I'm going to type in my open parens there. Then I'm going to go to place my cursor after the numeral characters, and I'm going to type in my close parens. Okay, now these next two characters here, that is code for the tab key. And if you want a hanging indent, your tab key is generally going to be there. I hardly ever change that, but if you do want to replace that with something else, you can go to this flyout menu here, which enables you to, let me make sure you can see that. This gives you a bunch of other options for other characters that you can insert. You have M space, you have an M dash. Again, I usually keep that tab key there. Okay, I'm going to press tab, and there is our parentheses. So that's looking pretty good. Now next we have the character style that we can apply to those numbers. Now, I also discussed this in the bulleted list tutorial. You can actually create your new character style directly from this drop-down menu in CS4, but in CS3, which is what I'm working in now, you have to go to your character style panel in order to do that. I've already gone ahead and created a character style called number. I'm going to select it, and sure enough, all our numbers now are bold, and I've given them that blue color. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to jump down here to my bullet or number position settings, and this is simply the settings for creating our indent. So let's say this was 0, we would lose our hanging indent, and let's just bring these to 0, which might be the default. That might be where you're starting from, and there we go. It's just there essentially is no indent. So what we want to do to create that nice hanging indent effect is I'm going to type in the numbers for the indent that I want. So let's say 1p6. And now everything's indented. Now in order to get this first line indent back aligned on our text column, we go to first line indent here, and we simply reverse that 1p6 setting that we typed in by typing in -1p6. And there we go. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. And next we're going to go to these two paragraphs, and let's just quickly apply those same exact settings. Now once we create a paragraph style for this will go much quicker, but let's just go ahead. I'm going to type in my parentheses. I'm going to get rid of the period there. I'm going to choose number. I'm going to go 1p6 -1p6, hit OK. Now that looks fine, except we wanted this to be a completely new numbered list, which means that we wanted this to start at number 1. But apparently InDesign thinks that we want this to be a continuation from the old list down here. So how do we fix that? Well, we have to go back once again to this familiar now bullets and numbering dialog box, and we want to go to the drop down menu for mode, and notice this selection, which is continue from previous number. So InDesign thinks that we want to continue this list item from the previous list, but we want to change that to start at. And notice that changed to 1. The default here is the number 1. I could change this to say number 99, and notice, it starts at 99 here, and then this next one is 100. But we're going to start that at 1. I'm going to press OK. And that's how you fix that. Now let's go ahead and we're going to create our paragraph style for our numbered list, because we don't have to keep entering those settings over and over again. So I'm going to start with the number 1. Now this gets a little tricky because there are two different settings for our numbered list. We have, actually let me just cancel out of that so I can explain this quickly. We have this first list item which has that start at setting, and then we have the second list item here which has that continued from the previous list setting. So we need to create two different paragraph styles. So let's start with number 1, and I'm just going to call this NL first. I'm going to go to bullets and numbering, and notice we have start at 1. I'm going to press OK, and that's done. Now I'm going to highlight this paragraph and see what happens if I apply the NL first style to it. It starts also at number 1, so we need to change that. So we're going to create a new paragraph style. I'm just going to call that NL, and the only change I'm going to make is I'm going to go to bullets and numbering, and I'm going to choose continue from previous number. Press OK, and now that's looking pretty good. So when you're applying styles to your documents, remember that you're going to have to be applying two styles, at least two styles to your numbered list for the first item and the second item. Sometimes if you have spacing above and below those list items, it depends on where the list item occurs. You might actually have three list item styles in there for, say, the first list item, and then the middle ones, and then the last, if the spacing differs for all those. But that's for a more complicated layout. For our purposes, we're pretty much good to go. That, I believe, is everything that you need to know about creating numbered lists in InDesign. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.